of the GSL, up against the GSL champion himself, the final boss, the ace player for MVP in the GSTL times. He's 6-6, but he has not yet dropped a single map in the Zerg versus Zerg matchup in Pro League.
Yep. He's beaten Sulky, in very, very important matches here. Shown that his EVZ is definitely up to par. I have to comment, the name he gave Sue, the double champion loser, is so sad.
It is. He's a two-time GSL loser, finals loser.
Yeah.
But that's a finalist for you right there, and that's relevant. We're going into King Sejong Station for this Zerg versus Zerg.
LTA는 SKT1.
Up here in the top left on the King Sejong Station in the orange, it is Sue.
And of course, his opponent for MVP, the final boss, is DongRaeGu in the teal to the bottom right. Let's see. So far, will we see the 10th drone made for either of these players? No. I see standard openings. Looks to be going into probably hatch first on this map, although we have seen some players play a little bit more safely.
Yeah. Interesting stat there, SKT 8-1 on this map. Very, very good score on this map. MVP, pretty, halfway there, 4-5.
Have some lag here.
Yeah, someone's lagging out, someone in the game.
I think it's actually the actual observer that you guys saw, because that's what it shows on my screen. And they might revert to our backup observing PC after this drop occurs. So anyways, being a double-time GSL finalist, even though he didn't win, Sue has been able to get there, right? And he won against Life, actually, in the semifinals in the Zerg versus Zerg, showing some really great decision-making in order to advance there. So this guy is really good at ZVZ, but, DRG has a lot more experience in team leagues, I'd say, and his Zerg versus Zerg so far in Pro League has been pretty spot on, and this is simply a best of one, because a best of 7 is a totally different animal than a best of 1.
Oh yeah, it's totally different. And I also have to comment that DRG is just looking a lot calmer here. He doesn't seem to be getting nervous. He seems to be on his game again, and I think he's playing very solidly as well. Not going to make too many mistakes or do anything crazy. So I feel like he definitely has a very good chance here.
So we're going into our backup observer. Nothing has changed. Nothing funny happened here. That was actually just pretty clean and cut. That's why we have backup PCs for this reason exactly. And luckily that happened early on in the game, so nobody was really affected. These guys are still just going to be able to make hatch first against each other. And we're going to have a little bit of downtime, Brendan. I was talking to you about this last night. I love Cheez-Its, but I don't love them as much as I used to anymore. Do you have a food in your life where you ate it all the time as a kid, and you went back and ate it later, and you still liked it, but you just didn't get that same feeling?
Maybe, do you know Gushers?
Yeah, I never really liked them, but
I used to love Gushers. It was like my favorite kind of candy snack kind of thing. And also Chewies. You know Chewy bars?
Oh yeah,
the granola.
Oh my god, I used to love those. Yeah.
But then I found them like when I was like 18 or 19 somewhere, and I was like, oh, I should eat these again, and it just like wasn't the same. It used to be like such a great experience to have it in your lunch and just eat it with your food, and then it just turned into something. It was just a granola bar after that. It didn't really touch me.
Oh yeah,
where it used to.
Chewy bars, I used to love those. I feel like when I was a kid, I just loved to eat in general. And like if there was a Chewy bar, I'm like, "Whoa, it's got chocolate chips. It's good," and I just eat it, and it was great. But then later on in life, it just kind of felt a little bit off. By the way, can I just say that the Chewy granola bar like variety packs were the worst thing? Why didn't anyone buy those? Why would you not just get...
What was the one that like no one ever ate? Was it like
raisins or something?
Red cinnamon or something?
Oh yeah, the red cinnamon one. There's also one that had like fruits and raisins in it. It's like...
Oh, yeah.
Everybody just wants to eat the chocolate chip one. Why would you ever buy the variety pack, Mom?
Get chocolate chip, get peanut butter.
Yeah, peanut butter was okay.
Get s'mores.
Yeah,
I think those three were like the big three. you know.
The s'mores one was good, but then when you get into that variety pack, you're just like, well, there's just going to be like at some point one chocolate chip one back and one raisin fruit one, and somebody's going to be upset. Okay, somebody's going to be unhappy.
Someone's going to be forced to eat that really, really disgusting bar. No offense to the Chewy brand, they are great, but
no, that one's just not
that
good.
one is just not good. At least for kids.
Yeah.
Not appropriate for kids.
I don't know why Mom's buying the variety pack. I told her before she went to the store to get the chocolate chip ones. Why didn't she listen?
Did you used to have the experience of, like, you didn't like going to the store, but whenever you went with your mom, like, you would make sure you always got the best snacks so that it was, like, a kind of a trade-off, you know? If you really wanted to eat something or get something, you would go to the store, but you didn't want to be there, but you just did it for the snack?
Yeah, no,
because
absolutely.
I used to do that.
Oh, sometimes when I took my own lunch to school and I was making my own lunches for myself, I got to make sure I had the best ingredients possible. This is a great block here, by the way, by soO. He knows that speed's going to finish up around this timing, so he has his queens constantly positioned there so that nothing gets scouted in the main base. There's nothing to hide, but even this block alone is kind of like for DongRaeGu, like, well, what is in there? You know, I don't know. He specifically denied my Overlord earlier. I don't know what he's got. He doesn't see Evo chambers either yet. You know, of course, now they're being planted. But soO's own speed is very far behind at this point. There's the double evolution, and there's also the Roach Warren going down. So it seems to be a normal build, all things considered here. Back at home, DongRaeGu has a much faster third base. And with these lings, he's going to be able to get any sort of advanced warning about what's coming across the map that might come his way.
And we're having soO go up to an extremely large amount of lings here. He had 28 at one point, and he has the one Evo chamber on the way as well. We see DongRaeGu up about 8, and actually now 11 drones. That's where all of those lings went into. soO definitely has the advantage of lings, but he's going to have to do damage with this if he wants them to be worth it.
He has to kill the third base. I think that's all he can do here. It's delayed speed. DongRaeGu has seen nothing. He hides the lings here. He has an Overlord to make sure no Overlords are going to see his lings attacking the rocks. And he's going to kill the rocks and come out from a different angle than DongRaeGu expects, run by, and try to kill that third base. He's going into normal upgrades over here, but only one evolution chamber is working. That's something that DongRaeGu can actually see if he looks very closely. This ling attack might even just be an all-in to try to end the game. I'm not even really sure.
Look at how many lings he's making just continuously at 18. He has so many, and there's no Overlord over here. This one is going to finally see it, but it's going to be too little, too late. The speed is on, and he is coming right to the base.
He needs to wall. Those roaches are not a wall. And here we go. He's just going to go right into the natural here. This is not to kill the third base. This is to kill the DongRaeGu. Roach Warren is being targeted right now. He kills the queen. He's working on those drones. Lings run into the main base as well. And a small roach count is not going to be enough to hold this. He starts actually fighting with all of his lings now, ignoring the Roach Warren. More and more lings streaming in across the map. It looks like the lings in the main base have finally been thwarted, but all the lings here at the natural are doing an incredible amount of damage. He's going to find and surround the rest of these lings and the roaches that pop out. And I think this might actually just end the game, Brendan. I don't see any way of DongRaeGu recovering. GG, wow. What a tricky build.
Wow. That was very interesting to watch. I mean, that was really just all up to soO, just continuously from the beginning of the game denying scouting. He hid all of those Zerglings until the very, very end. He had the 2 Evo 8 chambers up and let DongRaeGu see it. So he's like, hey, I'm going into +1/+1. You know, you're not going to expect an attack of 50-plus Zerglings in your main. And
it's just that, plus,
DongRaeGu was fooled.
Yeah, plus the attack path that he took.
Yeah, that as well.
Destroying the rocks. It's a map, specific map. Build, excuse me. You know, I thought, you know, when I saw his Evo chambers, I'm like, oh, this must just be fake. But then when he's actually researched the +1, I was like, he's going to transition and kill a third base, but I think it's even just the attention to detail that DongRaeGu can see, whether he's really researching it or not, that he's like, well, I got to actually research something, or DongRaeGu might be like, no, you're not using those. He might get suspicious, but to hold this, you need Banelings. That's all there is to it, and he just didn't see it in time.
Banelings and or like a tight wall at the front, or like multiple queens with a slight hole to block for a long time. And even at that, it would be dangerous. soO, a very, you know, it looked like a very detailed build there, you know, down to the second, just coming in right at that time.